OG, big fish. We the ones that you want to get with.
Hey,
Couple bells.
y'all know what it is. Y'all know what it ain't. Y'all know what it is. Come on, stop playing. It's the wind down. We are here. It's 9:30. I hope y'all got the alert that I sent out. I was hanging with the family for a little bit. So wanted to extend that as much as I could. So my apologies for any inconvenience that I may have caused, but I am here.
That's worthless, yes. All we do is impress. Put the work in, never mind all the stress. If you don't mind testing.
Lana and Urs, where y'all at, baby? I hope y'all feeling the new setup. I changed it a little bit. Changed it up a little bit.
Yeah, everyone want to range, but the value that you bring, little boy, smart shit.
Please make sure that you like as you're joining.
Control your destiny simply with your mind frame. You go hard from the gate every day, clean slate, and patience is a privilege. I ain't got so I win.
Hold on one second.
Big fish, we the ones that you wanna get with. Took a couple L's, rung a couple bells. Real ones, too legit for Coitel. Straight shooters, all troopers. Me and the guys ain't never been losers. See a nice little thing, we pursue her. See a nice little thing, we pursue her.
Yeah. OG, big fish. OG, big fish. Hey.
Big fish.
Come on, bro. Who you know playing their own songs before the show?
Big fish. OG. Big fish.
All right, I think we can actually play these joints. Can you play? You could play the new Drake one, right? We could play the. Well, no, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. Welcome. Let me get a little background. Welcome to the show. Please make sure that as you are joining, that you're also liking. That's gonna help boost the algorithm. I am sending it to. Whoa. So my apologies once again. I tried to send out an alert. I know not everybody got it. I know the alerts come through for the actual show, but not everybody gets the post alerts. But we are here now. And I was having dinner with the family, and instead of rushing, I said, you know what? Let me spend a little bit more time with y'all before I head back to Florida. So my apologies to all. Y'all know how, try to make sure that I'm not changing up anything too much, messing up anybody's schedule. But Urs is in the building, Lana is in the building, and it made me feel good. It made me feel good when my bro Urs, when he texted me, he said, yo, you on tonight? I was like, yes. That means my bro is going to tap in. So I was feeling good about that. Lot going on. As you can see. Well, hold on, let me put it at the bottom of the screen. My fault. And I just spoke with Doug. And I actually had a very good meeting with Doug today. That was actually real dope. We got some projects going on. It's always nice when you could build and do something with the people that you actually like, the people that you value, the people that you hold in high regards. Makes a difference when you're doing something, building wise with them. That's the camaraderie, and that's what I miss. That's why football, I don't know about a lot of y'all that played sports in your hometown, but for me, once I left my hometown after high school, sports was never the same, and it's for this reason. When you're building with people that you actually enjoy being around first and foremost, rather than just being around them because they're on the football team. When you go to college, it's like, all right, I'm making friends with the football team rather than this just being the people that you grew up with. It is a little different. It is a little different, but neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. All right. So I sent it to mine. Hopefully, y'all already liked. If you didn't like, please like as you're joining. We're going to have a great show. We got a lot to discuss. If you saw the flyer, I put Shannon Sharp on there. Maybe we'll finally get to him. We will finally get to him. We will finally get to Shannon Sharp. And that's part of the reason why the name of the show today is for the love of money is the root of all evil. And I had to add for the love because Doug reminded me, he reached out and texted me. He said, well, the full quote, the full context. And that's actually what we're going to talk about anyway. So it's, yeah. So what do we got today? We got a bunch. Like I said, we got a bunch. We're going to talk. Hillary Clinton popped up. So we got a bunch of stuff. We got Hillary Clinton. We got a lady by the name of Elle Duncan. We're going to talk in the same sentence. We're going to talk about Tua's concussions and mothers having C-sections. It's a little weird to me as well, but y'all will see. It'll all make sense as we get to the video. We're not going to watch a clip from The View, but we have one of our favorites, Anna Navarro. She's going to give us some insight from The View. As always, probably giving us something very intellectually sound and honest. We shall see. We shall see. What else we got? We're going to talk a little bit about Diddy. And not really with the particulars of the case, because to be totally honest, I don't like talking about like messy stuff like that on here with y'all. But then, of course, the elections and politics is messy. But if I'm going to talk messy, then it's going to be politics, not just messy with Diddy having 1,000 bottles of baby oil or lube at his house or something like that. That I didn't just make that up. Apparently, that's allegedly. Well, isn't that what happened? That's what they found at his crib. We're going to talk a little bit about Elon. We may get into talking about reputations, why they matter. And we actually got an apology. We got an apology from one of our favorite Democrats. Well, I don't know if he's one of y'all favorites. I'm being a little sarcastic, but it is what it is. Let me ask y'all like it better like this or like this? Which one we feeling? You feeling this for now? Nah, I'm about to change it. I'm going back to the big screen, but we'll leave it here for a little bit. All right, so what is going to, first and foremost, my apologies. Oh, yeah, 11,000 in the building early. Please make sure that you're liking. It's going to help for the algorithm and get as many people in this conversation as possible. Trust me, it's a better convo the more people that are involved. So let's make sure that we're liking, getting this going. Yeah, Urs, I switched up the background too. I moved some things around, but I think y'all have heard enough of me. Let's get into this show. What's the first thing that we're going to talk about today? I know I have an order, but y'all know me. I tend to move out of order. Actually, let's start with something a little different than we would normally start with. Let's kick it off with a little bit of the sports references that I was making with the C-sections. All right. Music down. All right, we actually are going to bring on one of our favorites. We are going to welcome Jason Whitlock to the show. If you're not a fan of Jason Whitlock, then I don't know what to tell you. I'm a fan. I like Jason Whitlock. What's up, Doug? See, Shy said, Unc not playing. Unc, get it in. Oh, hey, Ocho, Unc, get it in. We got to talk about that. I'm laughing at Shy. People are like, what are you talking about? With the Diddy on the baby oil, bro. What you doing, bro? The shorties don't need, what you sliding around. What you sliding? Hey, iRock is in the building. How you doing? And Doug is in the building. So let's get into the convo. Y'all got me amped. And cheers. Cheers to all y'all. I'm gonna sip a little apple juice while I talk to y'all, if that's okay. A little apple with a little hit, a little apple juice with a little hit. But let's get into the video. We're gonna jump right in. This is what I was referring to. Let's just watch the video. I ain't gotta always give y'all all the context. Let y'all watch it.
Last week, got into a little bit of a back and Duncan late last week got into a little bit of a back and forth with Stephen A. Smith, and was it Shannon Sharp? Was the other person? I can't remember. But she played the C-section card. That they're talking about football. They're talking about how tough football is, and maybe it was after Tua got hurt or whatever.
So it definitely was after Tua got hurt, and so this is what we're going to talk about. Tua, don't ask me to pronounce his last name. Tagovailoa, not that hard. Tua Tagovailoa got hurt. He had another concussion. He's had a bit of a history with concussions. I believe this is either his fourth, or I think it's his fourth. And as far as what's been reported, third or the fourth, but he's had some bad ones where it's like he was knocked out. And I think he had one with like the stiff arms. It's a scary sight when you see somebody have those type of concussions. But a lot of people are calling for him to retire and saying that he needs to put, all this other, he's already made enough money. So that's what the context is around this. And then we'll have a convo about their combo.
And L. Duncan played the C-section card. Let's watch the clip.
These football players make those decisions every single day as men. Provide, protect. That's our number one priority. That's how most of us think. And that plays a role into the kind of decisions men make, even when they're deemed selfish, foolish, ill-advised, or whatever. It comes with it when you're a man.
Listen, as someone who is a woman who has 2 scars that go from hip to hip because I've had 2 C-sections in an effort to provide for my family and create a family for my family, I understand sacrifice. A black woman in this country whose mortality rates are incredibly high, I understand making sacrifices and trying to mitigate risk when it comes to your family, expanding your family and protecting your family.
What do y'all think, man? Is it? Y'all gonna get me in trouble today. Who sent me this video, man? Let's keep going. Is it a reach? Is it a reach? That's all I'm gonna ask. Like, is it a reach? We're over here talking about I don't know. I think there's a lot going on there. It's almost like how you ever had a conversation where you're talking about something that you went through, like, I went through a tough time, and then somebody else, they got to like one up you and say, well, I went through this, but they may relate it to something that's totally different. They're over here having a sports conversation that elevated, obviously because Tua had a few concussions. So this football player has had a bunch of concussions, and people are calling for him to retire. So Stephen A. Smith is making the point that, as men, our role protecting and providing, there's a lot of things that we may do, certain sacrifices that we make in order to put food on the table, provide for our family, and protect our family. She directly related it to a C-section. And it's just like, let's keep going a little bit. I don't want to have to say everything. Let's see what Jason and what's my man here, Steve, right? I don't know. I got his name wrong, my bad.
All I am simply imploring is that anyone in Tua's corner, someone that truly believes and loves Tua, is having a real conversation with him right now about what quality of life looks like. And
I saw, so Shai wrote, she is right, but not for this conversation. It's like, it just had absolutely nothing to do with anything. Nothing to do with anything, but let's keep going. Because I may not be as harsh. I may not have as harsh of a stance as they do, or maybe mine's a little harsher. We'll see.
I bring this up because, again, so much money has been dumped into sports that everybody wants a piece of it. And so you got all these women that want a piece of this sports money. They want to be sideline reporters. That's what they used to want to be. Now they want to be hosts. Now they want to debate sports. Now they want to, go toe-to-toe with, Ryan Clark was the guy up there that actually had played sports at any type of level. Stephen A. Smith didn't even play high school basketball. made up some college basketball career. Obviously, Molly Querim, not an athlete, a IG model that's a decent host. L. Duncan, L. Duncan.
Jason got me amped up. I'm going to just say it. Why are women on a sports show talking about football? Why are women on a sports show talking about football? You don't play it. There's no women in the NFL. Why are you inserting yourself in a conversation about football? Why is ESPN hiring women to talk about football? Is she there because she's a pretty face? Do we really think that she's there to give some insight on the game? Did she play sports? I don't know. Why is a woman commenting on a man's game? Does that sound misogynistic? Do I sound rude? Oh, I do. Well, I was just making a point. Because a lot of women say the same thing, like I said the other day, when it comes to abortions, right? We can't have an opinion on abortions. You see, I tried to connect some dots there. So y'all really thought, put in the chat if you thought that I was really being serious. Put in the chat if you thought I was being serious or not. I was, but not. No, let me stop. But all joking aside, that's how silly it is to me when I hear women say stuff like that. And if it's not silly, then I guess the point still stands. But if you heard what I said, and I'm sure a lot of y'all were hearing it, maybe being cringing up a little bit, maybe frowning your face a little bit, saying he sounds a little sexist, all that. But where's the energy when it's about abortions, right? I can't have any opinion on abortions because men will never go through having an abortion. Well, newsflash, ladies, none of y'all are ever going to touch an NFL field. And of course, watch this be the year. Matter of fact, unless you play kicker, because I could see a team who's trying to be, super woke, bringing in a female kicker, and I could definitely see that happening. But y'all get the point. All right, let's keep going with the video.
The same thing. I'm just keeping it real. Everybody wants a piece of the Mo Money deal. And so women are in roles that they really have no business being in, particularly she's not a former athlete. She's not some former WNBA player talking about Caitlin Clark, talking about the NBA. This is an IG model that now thinks that, hey, I had a C-section, and that's analogous. And look, actually, what she went through probably is more difficult than what Tua went through, brittle glass Joe Tua.
Agreed.
But it's just not the appropriate conversation. It's not what anybody wants, but, it's part of this Mo Money, bad product, even from the sports talk TV. Stephen A. Smith is going to get paid $25 million a year. He's terrible, doesn't know what he's talking about. They're going to throw him in on NFL coverage more than likely. Ryan Clark actually knows something about football, but in order to get super paid, he has to play some woke idiot and manufacture all this emotion about sports. Mo Money, bad product. We're destroying sports. Your thoughts?
So many thoughts here.
We'll listen to his response and then we'll move on. But it's an interesting conversation, and it's funny because I had a Zoom meeting earlier today talking about football and how dangerous it is. And this gentleman, I was actually on the call with Doug, and one of the gentlemen on there, cool dude named Noble, and he was talking about his kid, how his kid is looking to play football, and Noble didn't want him to play football. But he said, Dad, let me play flag football. This flag football is a big thing. And flag really has changed up a lot of stuff, because I'm not sure if a lot of people know it, but the amount of kids that were showing up for football, especially, high school football, and then, Pee Wee and everything, the numbers were going down after that concussion video. So the NFL was suffering a bit and in a vulnerable position. Maybe that's why they did a lot, neither here nor there. The NFL was suffering a little bit, and flag football is one of those things that reignited this flame, along with the fantasy football. But we were having a conversation about the injuries, and of course, you start off playing flag football. That's like that's like a gateway drug to you good at flag football. What's the next thing that you want to do? And for me, it's always a tough spot to be in. I have softened up on my stance as far as my kid is never, when I have a child, he's never playing football, never playing football, never playing football. I have softened up on it a little bit. I still will say that he's not going to play football, but even you see, I just switched it. I said not compared to never. It's just a little bit of a softer stance, but we'll hear his response and then we're going to move on because we got a bunch.
Jason, you remember that cinematic classic, "Don't Be a Menace"? Great parody.
Love it. Yeah.
And every time someone said something outlandish, the older Wayans would pop in, "Message." That's what went through my mind when Ms. Duncan came up with that soliloquy. By the way, since C-sections are so dangerous, that explains why she is such a frontline soldier for reproductive rights. Now I get it. But here's the thing. That was so inappropriate. Number one, how she interjected herself into it, something you really shouldn't do. And that thing just didn't come out of the left field. That came out of the bleachers. In fact, that came out of the parking lot. Jason, this would be like me and you talking about a game where a certain player makes a diving catch, reaches the ball over the goal line with 8 people hitting him, but he holds onto the ball, but he breaks his ribs, but they win the game because of that play. But he's out for 2 weeks, but what a sacrifice he made. And you would say, Korean Kosel, what did you think of that play? And I would just say, you know what I think? This reminds me about a month ago. I was on the road about 75 miles from my house, and you'd be like, yeah. And I stopped at a gas station to fill up, and I was a little hungry. And I saw that the 3-day-old gas station sushi was on sale. But you know what? I was hungry, and I did it. About 25 miles later, I started getting bubble guts. And you'd be like, yeah, really? I started driving really, really, really fast. Yeah. And then as I'm screaming around the corner, I almost couldn't hold it. Yeah. And then I ran in like O.J. Simpson through the airport, and I barely did it. And I didn't shit myself. That's how heroic that I know what it is to work under pressure, under physical duress. Message.
Y'all get it. We're moving on to the next one. But as far as Tua, that's a tough decision. All joking aside, when it comes to the concussions and stuff, I don't know how I feel about it. You get a certain amount of concussions. Should somebody just walk away from playing football? Something that they love, something that they've enjoyed. It's a big decision to make. It's a big decision. It's easy for me to say, somebody who's not playing, just to say, bro, just stop. You've made millions, but I'm sure it's about a lot more than that for him. But yeah, let's move on. We got our girl, Megyn Kelly. I want to play this video because after Trump, the assassination attempt, I don't know if you guys are hearing this in your lives, but it seemed as if like the strangest things started happening. I think I played a couple of the videos on Monday where people are now just blaming Trump for his assassination attempt. A lot of Democrats are saying that it's Trump's rhetoric that caused it. I don't know. I'll be and I have to be totally honest. Let me hide this screen for a sec. Who thinks that? Let's see who's feeling bold in the chat. Who's feeling bold in the chat? If you think that Trump caused it, Trump caused his situation, just write Trump. If you think that the Democrats who have called him Hitler, who have said that he's a threat to the world, a threat to democracy, all these different things, he's a demagogue. They say all these different things. Do you lean to thinking that, hey, like ease up a little bit? The man just got shot. Like maybe we should tone it down like Biden said the first time that he got shot. Or the man just got shot at, or he got shot the first time and then it was another attempt. He didn't get shot at the second time. Which one are you thinking? Aaron, and if you don't feel like answering now, let's just kind of take a listen to some of the videos. If you're me right now, if I was to answer it, I would say that, of course, you have to say that Trump played a role, right? Two people going back and forth. you have to say that Trump played a role, right? Okay, so Shy wrote Trump. Anybody else? Anybody else? Matter of fact, let me play the video. And then, but I appreciate you, Shy, because there's 12,000 people in the building right now, and you're the only one that had the courage. So salute, you heard? I appreciate you. Somebody else may be driving. If you're driving, do not try to text and just leave it as what it is. But let's take a look at this next video, and then let's see if our opinions change. I don't know. But I did play y'all the video last time. Hold up, Shy. You were on here on Monday. I just remembered. I did play that video with all the Democrats, whether it was the politicians or it was the pundits. They were on the show, on their shows, saying all this wild stuff, like pretty much, in my opinion, escalating violence. And if I could probably play the video again, but I don't even think I need to. There's going to be another video that we'll play. But let's start with
it
this
is
one.
Unbelievable the amount of people who continue to blame Trump and J.D. Vance for these bomb threats that came into these schools and other venues. It came out yesterday that it was a foreign country. That came out from the governor.
All right, so just so y'all know what she's talking about. So there were a lot of people saying that Trump, after him and J.D. Vance were saying that the Haitians were eating cats and dogs in Springfield, Ohio, that a lot of the Haitians living there were facing some backlash. And apparently there were like, I don't know, there was a bunch of bomb threats. I don't know whether for some reason 16 or 30 something is in my head. I don't know. There were a bunch of bomb threats. And the governor came out and said that it was all a hoax. But a lot of the Democrats are still continuing to say that Trump is put the Haitians in harm's way. Now they have bomb threats, even though that they know that the bomb threats weren't real. You guys take a look, listen to the video.
Governor of Ohio, who made that clear. Here he is in stop 40.
Least 33 separate bomb threats.
33.
Each one of which has been responded to, and each one of whom has been found as a hoax. So 33 threats, 33 hoax. I want to make that very, very clear. None of these had any validity at all. We have people, unfortunately, overseas who are taking these actions. Some of them are coming from one particular country. We think that this is, one more opportunity to mess with the United States, and they're continuing to do that.
Let me just remind you of that Norah O'Donnell clip that we just played. This is her last night, Monday night. We knew by then.
And what Megyn Kelly is saying is that when we trust the news, like a news source. So let's say if I jump on here and I start telling y'all about something, and hopefully y'all saw yo, cut that off. They listened. If I came on here, just like I do the dumb ish I said the other day, I actually just did one, and I gave y'all fair warning that I wasn't sure if it was real. But if I come on here knowing that something is not real, but because I already, have my outline already written, I don't want to make any changes. I just want to present the information as such because it proves or it helps back up, validate my opinion on that particular situation. That would be like, you guys would think that I'm being like, that's damn near lying, right? Or I'm manipulating or misguiding you intentionally. This is what our news is doing. So let's take a look at it. And this is why we say you can't, I think Lana just wrote it in the chat that we have a mental health crisis. We have like a whole bunch of crises in one. It's a mental health crisis. Like, it's everything. We are at a low point when it comes to intelligence, when it comes to health, when it comes to morals. Like, this is it. This is the point where God told Noah, Start building. There's too much evil in the world. We got to start all over. This is at that point. Let's continue and check out what the news pundit, whatever, what is it called? Newscaster? I don't know. Let's look at what she said after knowing. If you're a good journalist, right? You're reporting on something. You have to be up to par, up to speed on everything. Let's see what she says. And y'all tell me if this is honest journalism.
That it was not a local, that it was hoaxes from overseas. Listen.
Donald Trump is blaming Democrats for inflaming political rhetoric, but the former president's own words seem to be increasing the threat of political violence in Springfield, Ohio. That's where a false and ugly accusation against Haitians, thousands of whom are legal permanent residents, is impacting everyday life.
She just goes with it. Just double down. Didn't happen. Didn't hear it. No, it's got to be a Trump-inspired.
And side note, and this is something I was going to talk about with Elon later. Did y'all know? And I got to fact check this. Maybe somebody could fact check it now. But apparently after like 5 years, a lot, like certain migrants will be allowed to vote. Certain migrants will be allowed to vote. Let me see if I can pull it up real quick just to show y'all. I want to make sure that I'm reading the tweet right. Where's that tweet at? If I don't see it, then I'll get it later. I know I bookmarked it for later. So, but to me, when something like that happens, so it says those granted asylum become citizens within 5 years, which is just over one presidential election cycle, and then vote overwhelmingly Democrat. And what I should show y'all, and I'm not sure if y'all been paying attention to it, think about this. Oh, wait, hold on. I got to show y'all this. I got to show y'all this map. I have to show y'all this map because when we think about Democrat versus Republican, who is more welcoming to a lot of the migrants? Who has been more welcoming to them? The Democrats, right? The Republicans, those are the ones that have been like, you know, Trump, build the wall. Democrats are damn near inviting people to come into this country illegally. So before we move on with the Megyn Kelly video, I do want to show y'all this graph right here. So this is Haitian illegal aliens. It's showing where they're going and which states. So hold on, let me see if I can make it a little bigger. There we go. So this is their destinations. And I can't see the exact states on this graph, but what the red states, or the red is states that voted for Trump. The blue is states that voted for Biden. So overwhelmingly, you will see that a lot more of these Haitians, so these are the dates on the bottom. So there's Q1, Q2, Q3 of 2022. So it shows from 2022 to 2024, the amount of illegal, and I guess this is just based on the Haitians. It says Haitian illegal aliens. Why are they going to mostly states that voted for Trump? Hold on, my fault. Y'all ain't even shit. My fault. I didn't show it. My bad. All right, so take a look at the chart. At the bottom, you'll see the years. These numbers are how many came in since 20. Where's Clifford? Where's Cliff, who was saying, yeah, they've been coming in since 2016, or whatever he was saying on the last show. Look at how it grows. And obviously, you can see that it's a significant increase at Q2 of 2023. But pay attention. Pay attention to all the red. Those are the states that voted for Trump. The blue is the states that voted for Biden. If the Democrats are the ones that are welcoming these people, that are incentivizing these people, that are pushing agendas, pushing policies that are favorable for these people, why are they not going to Democratic states? Why aren't they going to blue states? This is all a play. It goes back to what I just told y'all with Elon posting. The ones that are granted asylum, in 5 years, they will be voting. Who do you think they're going to vote for? The people that fought or allowed them to come in illegally, or the people that want to deport them? What do you think? What do you think? And to be totally honest, I'm asking that question because I'm not even entirely sure. I know the Democrats think that they'll support them, but to be totally honest, a lot of these people, in my opinion, well, I'm not sure, but I think it's a little bit different when it comes to the more Latin, Spanish speaking countries. I think they tend to be more conservative, but this is all just a play. This is all just a play. They are bringing people in to gain supporters and voters because they know that they're losing a lot of their base because they have to do so much. They have to become so extreme. Like now, because they made so many promises to certain people that have voted for them in the past, now their only option is to be so extreme. And when you are so extreme, when you haven't even delivered on the basic things, people are not believing you as much. People are not believing you as much. So therefore, you realize like, hey, we can't get us. What are we supposed to just be more extreme? Then we risk losing a lot of the moderates that are Democrats. So what do? They say, hey, let's bring in, give us all your worst, give us your whatever, doesn't even matter. Just bring them here. And whoever else can make it, y'all can come in too. That's what's happening right now. All right, let's keep going with the video.
Loon, it's the Proud Boys. It's one of those guys, for sure. I just know it in my heart, notwithstanding what the governor had released. We knew this yesterday afternoon. And here's Ana Navarro. Here she is on The View yesterday before we knew, but she was totally, no. Okay, sorry. This is, here she is. Yes, here she is on CNN this morning after we knew. Okay, after we knew. Take a listen.
Donald Trump and J.D. Vance are not questioning their rhetoric. Right now, because of their rhetoric, because of what he said in that debate, there's been 33 bombing threats in Springfield, Ohio. That would not have happened but for this false conspiracy theory being spread by the vice presidential and presidential Republican candidate.
All right, first and foremost, it's not a conspiracy theory. Trump, I'm pissed off that he said dogs and cats, because what it did was, in a lot of ways, it took away from the fact that a lot of people actually did have complaints. And I saw multiple videos of people saying that they were, killing the geese or ducks in the park. But now that he said dogs and cats, it just sounds so crazy that it's allowing a lot of these people that don't like him to just act as if the entire story is just BS. But that's on Trump. He shouldn't have said dogs and cats. Unless you can validate it, don't say it. Just stick with what's a fact, stick with what people are actually reporting on. So that's on him. But for her to come out, and what's so crazy is, I'm gonna give you this. This is where this is so crazy. It's almost not even a big deal. You know how it used to be? For me, whenever there was a new police video showing them killing a young black man or whatever else, I started to become desensitized to it. Like I would react and just say, "Damn, that's messed up," but it was a different feeling. It kept going on, and I just started to become desensitized to it, to the point where I wasn't feeling like the feeling wasn't the same as the earlier ones with Trayvon Martin or the Mike Brown or the Philando Castile. It just got to the point where I'm just like, damn, another one. Like where I was mad, but it was just a different feeling because they kept happening. I think that's what's happening with Trump after this second shooting. I got a group message with my friends. Nobody even brought up the fact that the former president of the United States and current candidate for the Republican Party, who was favored to win, up until the switch or maybe up until the debate, nobody even mentioned it in the group chat. Nobody even mentioned. It's like it's not a big deal. Like, do we realize that it doesn't matter what side you're on, Democrats or Republicans, a president having an assassination attempt is a terrible thing. It's a terrible thing, period. Then it's a terrible look, period. That shows that we are very vulnerable. Y'all have seen the shows. If y'all see Game of Thrones or any of these other shows, when do people attack? People attack when a country is vulnerable, When there's a powerful force, whether it's in boxing, whether it's in any other sport, or just whether it's in the corporate world, when there's somebody who's been very powerful in a position that everybody else wants to be in, when do people attack? They attack when there's vulnerability. Just like a lion that's going after a bunch of zebras or whatever else they're attacking, they attack the one that's most vulnerable. Our country, if this thing would have followed through with Trump, or if it happens with anybody else, would have happened with Kamala, that is a terrible thing and makes our country look terrible. And it puts our country in a very vulnerable position to where I know our generation especially, and maybe our parents, I know we've grown up without war. And we become spoiled by that to the point where we kind of take it for granted, the freedom. Like, we talk about war, but we never actively get into a significant war like a World War or a Vietnam, where we have to send so many of our troops away, where there may be a threat, a huge threat of people sending things our way, whether it's a nuclear threat or anything else. We haven't really dealt with that. We just get involved in other people's stuff. If we have something happen to Trump or happen to Kamala, what do we think that all of these supposed enemies that we have throughout the world, even some of these quote unquote friends that we have throughout the world, what do you think they're going to do? Our lives will be in greater danger. Our lives will be in danger. And I'm not sure that people are computing that because they have such a hatred for Trump. And you see it with all of these politicians. So funny that after the first assassination attempt, Joe Biden got up, and Anna Navarro, we actually played the video on here. Anna Navarro from The View. She was the one talking about, or y'all just saw her. She was the one talking about celebrating Joe Biden for him. I'm going to follow my president who said to tone down the rhetoric. So I'm going to tone down the rhetoric. After this one, it's almost like, yo, they didn't even give a 24-hour, 48-hour, white flag, and even in war, they sometimes, like, you kill a certain type of person, look at the movie Troy. Like, Hector got killed, we pausing fighting for a little bit. We'll fight y'all in a little bit, The next day, they're on blaming Trump for being shot at. So my question that I had earlier was, whose fault do you think it is? Or who do you write Trump in the group message if you think that it's more Trump, if he invited this, or write the Democrats if you think it's more the Democratic rhetoric? Because like I said before, if you're a Democrat and you call Trump Hitler, if you're telling people that Trump is Hitler, you are an influential person, you are on TV, people follow you, people like you. When you say that Trump is a threat to democracy and you call him Hitler, what killed around it's people believe that he killed around 12 million people. And now you're calling Trump Hitler. And what's so funny about the entire thing is that Trump, out of probably, we should do a study. We'll look this up. Out of all maybe the last 5 presidents, who probably killed the least amount of people? I know Barack Obama killed a lot more people than Trump. I'm not sure about Biden. I'm not sure about Bush, but obviously we were at war. We weren't at war with Trump. We weren't at war because when you have a strong front and when people think that you are a strong nation, people don't even want to mess with you. Your word is so strong. You can influence other people. You can influence other countries like, yo, that war is not happening. Y'all aren't doing that. Because that's what the big bro's supposed to do, right? That's what the adult's supposed to do when they come into the room and they see kids fighting. We're in a tough place. We're in a tough place. But back to the point that I was making. I'm going to say that it's both. It's both. I'm going to say that it's both. It's both Trump and the Democrats. But let me be very clear. When I say it's both, I think at this point, it's probably about 10% Trump, 10% Trump's rhetoric, and 90% the Democrats and what they're pushing. I believe that they actively want Trump out of the way. And it may not just be Democrats. I'll be totally honest. I think the Democrats are the one that are pushing it in public. But I do think that there's a lot of people on the Republican side that are part of the establishment, the swamp that we always hear about, that they want Trump out of there as well. But I think the Democrats are just allowed to voice it. I think there's a lot of Republicans that are hating on Trump that would love to see him gone. But let me ask you this. Shy, I gotta focus on you when it comes to this one. And I can't take full credit for this. If there's a girl, as men, right? I don't know, fellas, if y'all have had discussions about what your lady wears, but there's been a lot of conversations outside of, I think, just a relationship situation. But when we look at situations and we say, hey, she should put on more clothes. If she wasn't dressing like a skank, if she wasn't dressing like a hoe, then maybe she wouldn't have invited that energy. Right? And then what do y'all start saying? Before we'll say like, yo, of course, a dude shouldn't sexually assault her. A dude shouldn't grab her butt. A dude shouldn't rape her. Of course. But when you're dressed like a street prostitute to go to the club or to go to the restaurants in Miami, whatever it is, when we say that you're inviting a particular energy, what do women say? You're victim blaming. That's terrible. How could you even say anything about the woman? She just got sexually assaulted. She just got raped. She just got this. And you're talking about the clothing that she's wearing? And we're sitting there saying like, yo, I'm not condoning or validating what happened, the man's behavior, whoever sexually abused her. I'm not validating that. I'm not excusing that. But what I'm trying to do is just protect my lady, protect my homegirl, protect whoever it is. I'm trying to protect women from, if we know that there's nuts out here, if we know that you dressing a certain way is inviting a particular energy, then why not try to avoid that? But what do women say? No, I should be able to wear what I want to wear. But the energy's a little bit different when it comes to Trump. That's why I said I'm blaming both. But when it happens to the woman, women don't want to hear anything about, oh, well, you know, she could have dressed differently. She could have this. It's like, no. So then on this end, isn't it fair to say, I don't want to hear about Trump could have said this. Yeah, Trump said, I'll bail people out if they punch somebody in the audience who's trying to cause a ruckus. Yeah, Trump said this. Yeah, Trump said that. But it doesn't warrant him getting shot at, an assassination attempt. And I don't even want to hear anything else, right? We have to be consistent in how we're looking at things, and we can't get too emotional to the point where we're just not making any sense. I don't know what just happened with the views, but whatever. When we get emotional, we just become fanatics. And that's when logic goes out the window. That's when you can't say, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't dress like that. You know, there's a lot of weirdos out here. And you can't say, yo, Trump, you know, I know you were saying a lot of stuff before. We know there's some nuts out here. They still going to be calling you Hitler, calling you all these things. You may want to ease it down a little bit, you know, present something like, hey, you know, we've both been, you know, there's been extremism on both sides, you know, maybe something like that. I don't know. I'm just trying to be as objective as possible. Let's keep going on a little bit with the video.
She's on CNN News. In news, she should have been fact-checked with, that isn't true. And she did receive blowback online for saying that after we heard the governor of Ohio say, it isn't true, that this was a hoax. You heard him. That's his word. These were hoaxes by people trying to just mess with us. This was not inspired by Trump. If it was, there's zero evidence of that, Anna. Zero. What's your proof? You're so upset about proof on the cats and dogs. I mean, I saw 2 cats on a barbecue, so there's that. But let's put that to the side. What's your proof that Donald Trump inspired this, as opposed to the town council meeting last week that person after person showed up to complain at? How do you know what the cause is? What forensic deconstruction did you do of the hoax calls to get to the bottom of it?
It doesn't matter. Let's just be real. At the end of the day, it just doesn't matter. Because this next video that I'm getting ready to show y'all is Hillary Clinton, out of all people. She decided the next day or 2 days later to chime in on this in an interview. So let's take a listen at what Hillary said.
Danger to our... And
let's take a look at what Hillary said.
I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to have a consistent narrative about how dangerous Trump is. The late, great journalist Harry Evans, one time said that, journalists should, really try to achieve objectivity. And by that, he said, I mean, they should cover the object. Well, the object in this case is Donald Trump. His demagoguery, his danger to our country and the world, and stick with it. And I don't understand why it's so difficult for the press to...
Her, out of all people, they are still pressing this. Nobody cares. You want to know why? Because they're just going to sit back and let us just destroy each other, let somebody else do their dirty work, so therefore they can keep their hands clean. Like, come on now. This is the day or 2 days after this situation. How are we still... Hillary, out of all people, she feels like she started a Russian hoax on Donald Trump. Her campaign paid for something to start. They fed lies to the FBI to start a fake hoax against Donald Trump. But she feels that she can talk. And there was another video that she, in this same interview, she was saying that damn near people should be jailed for spreading misinformation. What about your friends? You're in the Democratic Party, your politicians. Because this is the difference between Hillary and somebody like RFK Jr. Hillary says that people spreading misinformation should be jailed. But she knows that all these political pundits, all these politicians that she works with, she knows that they lie. But RFK Jr., what did he say? He said any federal employee that lies to the public will lose their job. They will be fired. You see the difference there? Hillary's just trying to act like Hillary's mad at people spreading quote unquote misinformation. And by misinformation, she says anything that doesn't align with her agenda. She's not talking about lies. She's not. It's like that. It just brings me back to this question. Why do people hate Donald Trump so much? We have to ask ourselves, why do people hate Donald Trump so much? So we'll play maybe one or more of these videos. This video was taken from, this was a video from, give me a second. Peter Ducey, I believe is his name. And it's, he's talking to Karine Jean-Pierre and asking, what is she? She's the press secretary, right? Asking her about why they continue to say that Trump is a threat to democracy. And then we're going to play one video from a guy from CNN. And we're going to end on this note as far as with these probably. Let me make sure that the screen is shared. 1 second.
Because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from
2 days since somebody allegedly tried to kill Donald Trump again. And you're here at the podium in the White House briefing room calling him a threat. How many more assassination attempts on Donald Trump until the president and the vice president and you pick a different word to describe Trump other than threat?
Peter, if anything from this administration, I actually completely disagree with the premise of your question, the question that you're asking. It is also incredibly dangerous in the way that you're asking it, because American people are watching. And to say that from an administration who has consistently condemned political violence, from an administration where the president called the former president and was grateful that he was okay.
All of that is irrelevant. She's saying from an administration, you're talking about our rhetoric. Yeah, you know, we say certain things about Trump. We say he's a threat to democracy, but we called him after he got shot. What does one have to do with the other? And to be totally honest, it just shows the phoniness, because if somebody really, if you believe that they really are a threat to democracy, then you shouldn't call them afterwards. If you think that somebody is really like Hitler and somebody takes a shot at them, then you shouldn't call them afterwards. But this is the point. They don't believe this stuff. They just say it. So here she's saying that she's telling Peter that it's a dangerous question that he's asking. But all he's asking is, hey, this rhetoric, clearly there's a lot of people out here that are taking y'all words to the extreme. And in a situation where we have the former president who's running for president again right now, having two assassination attempts in the last 2 months, and you're not willing to even reconsider calling him a threat to democracy because they don't really believe that he's a threat to democracy. It would be different if he really was. Y'all stand on what y'all stand on and keep that energy. But if it's not done, oh, he's a threat to democracy, he's like Hitler. Oh, we're wishing for him to have a speedy recovery. What? It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't make any sense. Let's move on to this next video. I want to show y'all. So we did have an apology video. Is this it right here? Hold on. I think we got an apology video for y'all. So check this video out from Chris Cuomo. Y'all tell me what y'all thoughts are.
I don't get it. That's why I reached out to Trump. I wanted to just say, listen, I'm really sorry that this is going on and it's being dealt with this way. Not because I'm in favor of his politics or what he says. I criticize him all the time. That's my job, and he deserves it. But he doesn't deserve this. A guy pointing an AK-47 at him while he's playing golf? And we take solace in the fact that the guy didn't get any rounds off. If I had been through what that guy's been through in the last 2 months, you would not know where I am. You would.
And that's something that I think needs to be talked about. Look, man, can you imagine? We're over here talking about, think about it. What did we start off the show talking about? About Tua, somebody that got a concussion from playing football, a game. We're over here talking about Tua and whether or not he needs to retire and stop playing. There were Hall of Fame players, everybody calling like, yo, just call it quits, hang up your cleats, bro. Don't try to play again. But here we got Donald Trump. 2 assassination attempts, got shot. If he didn't turn his head, bullet would have exploded. Head would have exploded on live TV. Playing golf, somebody just tries to catch him slipping. Can you imagine his family? Do y'all know what my family, my family reaches out to me about this show saying like, hey, man, you may want to watch out saying something, you know. Trump was shot at, bro. Like, if you don't respect him for anything else, you got to at least respect the fact that this man got shot and is still out here, still running around. It hasn't changed up anything. Still doing his rallies, still doing interviews, still popping up in public. Still standing on what he stands on, still saying it with his chest poked out. Like, damn. And what's funny is I really think that after he got shot, maybe this is just me being a little bit more sympathetic to him after he did, get shot and then there was another attempt. But I think after the first one, he realized that, and maybe for the first time in his life, that there was a purpose bigger than him. I really do believe that. I believe that I think that's why, even when, a lot of people may think nothing of him working with RFK, but RFK Jr., the things that RFK Jr. talks about are extremely dangerous because they take money out of people with a lot of money and a lot of power. When he talks about big pharma, when he calls out BlackRock, those are the people that run the world. Those are the people that get paid a lot when we go to war. the military industrial complex. That's the whole. There's money behind everything that goes on in this country, and those are the people with the biggest bank accounts. So as Trump brings somebody like a RFK on, he's risking. He's not only risking his physical life, but he's risking donors. He's risking a lot bringing him on board. And I think after he got shot the first time, he realized, like, bro, whether he moves in his purpose, that's up to him. But I think that he realized, like, hey, this is bigger than just me. This is bigger than them just wanting to stop me and hate on me because I'm Donald Trump and, you know, all the things, whatever. They want to get rid of you because the things that you're saying that you're committed to doing and the things that you may prevent if you do get in office. And that's why people are talking on him the way that they talk about him, in my opinion. But let's keep going.
Would never see me on TV again. No way I would do that. I don't know how he does it. He's got kids, they're adults, but he's got grandkids. He's got a wife. People giving crap to Melania Trump, worrying about whether or not there was a plot around his husband. How could she not? People mock her. And then her husband has a guy pointed with an AK-47. Where are those people apologizing? That's what it's time for. We are playing a dangerous game with ourselves. He is not a despot in waiting. Okay? I don't buy it. You gotta care when somebody tries to kill somebody. I've told you this before, and I've learned the lesson so many times myself around the world. Either you care when anyone is hurt, or you'll never really care about anyone being hurt.
What do y'all think? What do y'all think? Am I just being too sympathetic? And I saw Maya's comment, Hillary's the last person that should be talking about Haiti. Hillary is the last person that should be talking about anything. Like anything, like to me, she's one of the most evil people. Like there's just something about her. She just looks like an evil, evil woman. She looks evil. What are y'all thinking? What are y'all thinking before I get into this next video? Because I do want to show a positive example or something that I see as a positive example. You guys let me know your thoughts, but let me show you this video. I don't think, and remind me if I played this video before. I don't think that I played it, but I may have. Did I play? Y'all tell me. Hold on. Let me know if I played this one. Is this it? Yeah, here we go. Here we
and it's
go.
all the more reason we need somebody who's Vice President Harris.
Listen to the question that's asked, and then listen to how this governor responds.
Did not make clear whether she supports any restrictions on abortion. Currently, 9 states and the District of Columbia have no gestational ban on abortions. Her comments about the military. She said during the debate this about the U.S. military. Let's listen.
As of today, there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone in any war zone around the world, the first time this century.
Our fact checkers found that to be false.
Listen to this
and
response.
I
I know you already heard the first part.
area as well. There are currently 900 U.S. military personnel in Syria, 2,500 U.S. troops in Iraq. All have been under regular threat from drones and missiles for months. We also have action in the Red Sea. We also, every single day, the Navy SEALs, Delta Forces, special operators can be part of any sort of deadly raid. So why would she make that claim?
I had to pause it for dramatic purposes. But you would expect the governor to have to respond to that question. Why would you say that we don't have any troops active in an area, however she worded it? Did she not know? Did she know? Why would she say that? Listen to this governor's response. And you tell me if we can trust our politicians You tell me if you can trust the people that are giving us guidance, the people that we hold in the highest regards, that are making decisions on how our lives go, that are making decisions on whether or not we need to get vaccinated on something during 2020, that are making decisions in every area of our lives. These people make decisions where it impacts every area of our lives. And you tell me if you trust somebody like this.
Well, I think what's important here, Martha, is that Kamala Harris, in contrast to Donald Trump, demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief. We are in a world where there are all sorts of conflicts, and it's all the more reason we need somebody who's serious.
She just said that Kamala Harris demonstrated herself to be commander-in-chief in a response about a question where she was called out for lying.
And who supports the military. And just remember,
But Governor, excuse me, but she said there is not one member of the United States military who is in active duty in a combat zone. That is not true. You say she demonstrated her ability to be commander-in-chief, but did she not know about these people in Syria and Iraq? Why would she say that?
Look, that was a comment. That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course we have military.
That was a comment in a debate. I think the broader point that she was trying to make. These people, I'm not even going to say that they're fools. I don't think that they're fools. But they definitely think that we are fools.
That was a comment in a debate. I think the point that she was trying to make was a broader point. And of course we have military in place all around this country. That's important. We're the United States of America.
Not around this country, ma'am.
And Kamala Harris, remember, is the person who stands with NATO, who supports our allies, who's working to bring countries together. Donald Trump stands with Vladimir Putin. So, I think that's what's really important. Kamala Harris, she respects our military. She respects our service members. Donald Trump calls them suckers and losers. And it's why Donald Trump's...
They just say certain stuff. Multiple people said that this isn't true. They said that they found people that said that was true, that he said it.
Former military generals support Kamala Harris. They say that Donald Trump shouldn't be anywhere near the Oval Office. And I think...
So say their names, bro. We don't know who you're talking about. I can jump on here and say anything just as you just said.
I think those are the points, Martha, that people need to understand. We live in a world of very serious times with serious consequences.
Serious times and serious consequences. So you can lie on a debate stage. Because there's serious times and serious consequences, Kamala Harris is allowed to lie on a debate stage without being held accountable. This is a very simple thing. All she had to do was say, oh, she made a mistake. She made a mistake. She misspoke. She was wrong on that. I don't know why she was wrong on it, but she's wrong. But let me tell you this about it. Say that.
The actions of the next commander-in-chief matter. Kamala Harris will be that commander-in-chief and lead us forward in freedom, working with others.
Governor, I want to hit another. I want to stick to.
And I'm glad that the interviewer, I'm glad that she interrupted her like that. So let me tell you this. This guy, Scott, man, I forget his last name, but he's on CNN. I'm always impressed by him. He's always the lone Republican, Scott Jennings. He's always the lone Republican, lone conservative. I don't know if there's a difference, whatever. But he's always the lone one on CNN, and he always holds it down, stays calm, cool, and collected. This is the type of things that I look up to. How he can conduct himself in hostile territory. But listen to what he said. I think that it holds some weight. I think that it's something for us all to take heed to. You guys tell me if you think the same. Let's switch it right quick.
They have tried to kill this man twice. Okay? He got shot in the ear, and this guy was sitting up shop outside of a golf course to try to kill him this weekend. And I know after something like this happens, it's very fashionable to, talk about rhetoric on both sides. Donald Trump is the target. Okay? He's the current target. And it's happening, and it's happened again. And I just, honestly, we have to have a conversation about elections. If you lose an election, the country's not going to come to an end, okay? What I want Democrats to do, honestly, is to say, it's okay. Like, if Donald Trump wins, democracy will not end, the Constitution will not end, we're not going to live in a dictatorship, there will not be a bloodbath. All the things they say that are totally fabricated, to me, it would be a good day to stop doing that. The most important thing that could possibly happen, in my opinion, is for everybody to agree, especially Democrats, that the country is not going to be irreparably damaged if Democrats lose, that our Constitution is not going to go away, democracy is not going to come to an end, there will be no bloodbath, there will be no dictatorship on day one, which they all say all day long on this network and others. If everyone could just agree that that kind of hyperbolic statement will not take place anymore and that it's not been true every time it's been said, that would be a step in the right direction. And I know everybody's talking today about all the rhetoric in this country and what are we going to...
All right, so you see where he's getting at. And Shy, I actually just saw your comment. I'm glad that I saw that. Let me get to that now. But there was something that it just came to me. There was something because everybody references January 6th. Everybody references January 6th when they say that Donald Trump, he's going to be a dictator. He staged an insurrection. And I heard somebody say it was a debate on Piers Morgan, matter of fact. There's a guy named Eric. He was on there with the guy Candace Owens. I forget his name. Sink or something like his name is. I don't know. And the Young Turks guy. And the guy said, if you think that what happened on January 6th was an insurrection, then that would be the first time in history where people staged an insurrection and came without weapons. Now, I don't know exactly what everybody came with, but just think about it from that standpoint. It was an insurrection that people had no weapons. Like they were just going to like bulldoze the front. Like you see that happening. Didn't we just see, if you just took the insurrection, it's funny. I just thought about this. This may be totally off. I don't know. Y'all tell me. Remember the video when, it was a soccer game. Wasn't it in Miami? I don't think it was a World Cup game, but there was some big game in Miami where people were getting injured because they just bum rushed. They just rushed the gate. People were falling on top of each other. The insurrection, if you come somewhere with no weapons, what damage do you think you're doing? You think you're going to take over the country with no weapons? Without an army, you think you're going to take over? That's your insurrection. So just something to think about. I don't know where y'all stand on it, but making sure that we get to Shai's point. So Shai wrote, it's crazy that they have increased troops in Alaska because Russian activity is increasing in the area. This is happening now. Yo, I'm so glad that you wrote that. We are prepping for war. If this was sports, like we would be in war week. You know how like when we're getting ready to play, I don't know, say we're getting ready to play James Madison, or I'm sorry, I don't want to, not my small schools. Let's say we're getting ready to play, the Giants are getting ready to play the Cowboys. We call that Cowboys week. So it is that week. It is war week. The preparation is already happening. The plans are already in play. People are just waiting to see. It's like for the coin toss. Who's going to kick off? Who's going to get the ball first? That's what we're waiting for. Who's kicking off? Who's receiving? That's where we are right now. I don't know about y'all, but I know that we're making abortion the number one thing. I know Steph Curry came out and he said that abortions and women's rights are the number one thing that makes him want to vote for Kamala. I don't know if I don't know if that's going to matter. I don't know if any of that's going to matter because as bad as we like to make Putin seem and Russia seem, and what is it? Which one is it? North Korea, I think. As bad as we like to make all these leaders in these countries seem, are we not worried about what's getting ready to happen? Do we not think that people who have weapons that can reach us won't use them if we're using weapons on them? What ends up happening, right? You slap somebody, then they punch you. You punch them, then they stab you. They stab you, and then they shoot. Everything gets escalated. So where do we think that once this starts, where do we think it's going to end? We don't even want to stop the rhetoric that the Democrats are using and the Republicans are using. We don't even want to stop the rhetoric between our own parties in our own country. One side escalates it, the other side escalates it, and it just keeps going from there. Why do we think that if we get into a war, that really ain't even got anything to do with us, but if we get into a war, why do we think that our lives are not at risk? I understand we want to focus on abortions and women's rights and all this other stuff. I get all that. But if we go to war, none of that may matter. All of that may be out the window. That's where we are. So while everybody's screaming about Donald Trump's a threat to democracy, we are getting ready to go to war. Forget that, we may not have another election the way things go. Or some of us may not be involved in it. Because what do we think? Oh, it's war, but what do we think? They go to another planet and then they have the war? Or they meet up at a football stadium and then they shoot it out? Do we think it's like the colonial wars, the Revolutionary War, where everybody just lines up and then they just take shots at each other? No. Do we not see what's going on in Lebanon, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia, countries in Africa? War is ugly, and because we have not experienced it on our land, I think a lot of us, including me, lack a real appreciation for it. How can I have a real appreciation for it? Just by watching movies? I don't want to go to war. I do not want to go to war. It scares me. You want to know why? Because that's an energy that I do not want to be on earth with. That's a frequency that I do not want to be around people on. I do not want to. You're a button push away. You're one of these, just like how somebody can open up a laptop, boom, press a button. That's how close we are to our world completely being over. Because as soon as one person presses the button, what do you think? Hey, come on, man. I don't know if our level of urgency is there. I do not know if our level of urgency is there. All right, where do we want to get to? I think we got a couple more. Do I want to go reputation? I know it's already 1047. All right, so let me play this video. Let's move on to Diddy and talk a little bit about Shannon Sharpe. And then maybe we'll finish it up on something that I wanted to highlight as far as with reputation. I think that's important. But first, before we move on from there, it's on the screen, so I have to show it. It's on the screen. I was trying to move on. Yeah, I think I try to pick on Kamala. Yeah, I do, but for good reason. Let's just
desperate situation.
Hold on. Since it's here, let's play it. Because I think this is, since we were talking about abortion, I think this is a good video to play. Please listen to this. Please listen to this.
Nowhere in America is a woman carrying a pregnancy to term and asking for an abortion. That is not happening. It's insulting.
The Care Clinic in Bethesda, Maryland.
Thank you for calling Care. How can I help you?
I am looking to have an abortion.
How far along are you?
I'm 34 right now. I am in a pretty desperate situation. My boyfriend is kind of out of the picture now, so I don't really have any support.
An abortion at any stage is actually much safer than delivering a term pregnancy. It's a 4 to 5.
What did she just say?
Any stage is actually much safer.
The picture now, so I don't really have any support.
An abortion at any stage is actually much safer than delivering a term pregnancy.
an abortion at any stage is actually safer than delivering any term pregnancy. Is that what I heard? This is Care Clinic in Bethesda, Maryland.
It's a 4 to 5 day procedure. We do some basic lab work on you and start to dilate your cervix. After that, we do what we call the fetal injection. A needle is inserted through the abdomen and into the fetal heart where lidocaine is injected, and that will completely numb the fetus so there's no pain. And then after that, we inject a medication called digoxin and another medication called KCL into the fetal heart, which will slow and then stop the fetal heartbeat. And then on that 4th day, depending on how your cervix is dilated, we'll break your water, and then we'll give you a medication called misoprostol. Misoprostol will sort of induce contraction and increase the dilation of your cervix. You're going to have contractions and cramping, and then we'll assist you in sort of pushing in the induction and then remove all of the products of conception. You're definitely going to feel discomfort in the induction and then remove all of the products of conception.
Remove all the products of conception. Before we finish this video, and I know I just said that abortions may not matter. However, it is what it is. A lot of people, no matter what I say as far as with the war, people are still going to focus on the abortion. So maybe we should start sending people this video. Donald Trump was fact-checked during a debate that was seen by people all over the world. He was fact-checked. Kamala Harris didn't say anything. Kamala Harris's soror sister said that there's no place in the country where these late-term abortions are happening. She just made a phone call and scheduled an abortion in the 34th week without even coming in, without them checking anything, where the person just saying like, yeah, it's actually much safer than delivering. And I don't even blame, I'm going to be totally honest. I do blame the person. Some blame has to go to the person that picked up the phone and is saying all these things. But she, just like all these doctors, just like all these other people, are controlled. What are they controlled for? What's on the bottom of the screen? For the love of money. That's what they're controlled by. People will do anything for their jobs to put food on the table and throw all morals and principles out the window. They will shift and adjust their morals and principles just to have a good paying job, just to have a job. This woman is speaking about an abortion like Shorty's making an appointment to get a mani-pedi. The casualness in her saying like, oh, yeah, we're just going to inject the baby, make it numb, and then we're going to put another injection in to stop the baby from breathing. Like, yo, we are talking about a baby, right? At this point, 34 weeks. That's you can have a premature baby at that point. There's a lot of there's people that I know, I believe, that were born at 34 weeks. I know people that were born prematurely. I'm sure y'all know at least somebody that was born prematurely, even if y'all don't know that they were. I'm sure you know of somebody that they may not have told you, but and this is what happens with extremism. Now, do I think that the majority of people, the majority of women that say women's rights, pro-choice, are talking about instances like this? I do not. But this is what happens. This is what happens all the time. We will vote for certain policies that we like from certain candidates without understanding that we don't pick and choose. When we vote for that candidate, we also vote for all the extreme things that they're going to be putting in play as well. And we have to hold some responsibility in that. We will critique Republicans, critique Trump, keep throwing this 2025 project on him. Even though he says that they just say, he says he has no association to it, says that he's fine with the abortion pill, says that it's up to the states. But where's the recognition on the other side to say like, hey, I believe in pro-choice. I believe in a woman's right to choose, but up until this point. And you want to know why they'll never say up until any point? Because to dig deep into those things, people are going to realize, well, shit, it's kind of a baby at a little earlier than I, acknowledged previously. Let's keep going with the video.
You're definitely going to feel will sort of induce contraction and increase the dilation of your cervix. You're going to have contractions and cramping, and then we'll assist you in sort of pushing in the induction and then remove
Ladies,
all of
where
the
y'all
products
at?
of conception. You're definitely going to feel discomfort and cramping and a lot of pressure, but we do give you fentanyl and Versed during the procedure. We specialize in later trimester care. Our doctor is very well versed in what he's doing, and he's very good.
So I'm not like a rare situation. Y'all help women this late in pregnancy all the time?
All the time.
All the time. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard it. Does anything else need to be said? It's a shame. It really is a shame. Like when you hear it actually so casually, the conversation, if that doesn't impact you, then I don't know. I don't know. To each their own. All right, let's move on to this Diddy situation. We're going to talk about it. We're not going to get into all the particulars of but we will talk about it a little bit.
Charging Sean Combs with racketeering conspiracy, sex trafficking, interstate transportation for prostitution. The indictment alleges that between at least 2008 and the present, Combs abused, threatened, and coerced victims to fulfill his sexual desires, protect his reputation, and conceal his conduct. Sean Combs led and participated in a racketeering conspiracy that used the business empire he controlled to carry out criminal activity, including sex trafficking, forced labor, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and the obstruction of justice. The indictment alleges that Combs abused and exploited women and other people for years, and in a variety of ways. As alleged, Combs used force, threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sexual performances with male commercial sex workers, some of whom he transported or caused to be transported over state lines.
Diddy Combs has been denied.
Sad situation. It's sad, and I think in a lot of ways it was driven for the love of money is the root of all evil. Him trying to chase money, him trying to chase power, him becoming obsessed with it, him thinking that the money is a moral pass or get out of jail pass to where he doesn't have to be held to the same moral standards and laws that everybody else does. And in all actuality, he wasn't. The police allowed him to get away with stuff. There were people that were shot in his house, allegedly, and they just made it disappear. He blew up, I believe, Kid Cudi's car, allegedly, made it disappear, was doing all type of weird stuff. All these women accused. We saw the video with him and Cassie, but I do separate. I do separate a lot of this stuff, and I still am slow to cast judgment when it comes to all of the allegations or all of the charges that that are being brought against him. Just because he's an abuser, just because he may like weirdo sex and whatnot, does not mean that he was running a criminal organization, does not mean that he was trafficking women, does not mean any of that. Now, a lot of people may not care. A lot of people may say, you know what, he's an evil person. I don't care whether he did all the things that he's charged with. I want him to go down for him. A lot of people will say that. I don't. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. I'm not one of them. He should serve punishment and be held accountable for the things that he's found guilty of. And the things that he's found not guilty of, or the things that, it's hard to, it's hard to look at somebody who you think has done something terrible and you've seen them do certain things that are terrible and be able to sit back and say, well, I saw those other terrible things, or I should say that it's easy to see somebody doing those terrible things and to think that they did all the other things. In my opinion, what I think was going on with Diddy, I think it's just another situation like Epstein. I think that Epstein was working with some powerful people. I think Diddy was working with some powerful people. And I told y'all over a year ago when it first came out with Keefe D, the person that was accused of, or the person that was running around saying that his nephew killed Tupac, and he was telling the whole story. And then a year and a half ago, after him telling the story for 4 years on public platforms, they finally arrested him. And then there was a little sprinkle. I told y'all as soon as it happened, like, this has something to do with Diddy. And keep in mind, Diddy was the first entertainer, I believe, of our generation that was really pushing voting. Remember Vote or Die? Diddy was the one jumping out the window for the Democrats, trying to corral black people, trying to corral the hip hop crowd, trying to corral the culture that he has influence on, pop culture, trying to corral everybody to vote for, I don't even know who it was at that time. Was it Barack? With the whole Vote or Die. I believe that they asked Diddy to do certain things that they had given him a pass on previously. We'll give you a pass on that, but don't worry, we'll come back for a favor. And I think when they came back with those favors and said, Diddy, hey, we need you to deliver on these things, I think there were things that he was not comfortable doing and said no. And they just said, are you sure? And I think he made his decision, and they decided to move forward with all of the things that they probably were allowing him to get away with previously. And they said, you know what? You're not keeping up with the deal. Therefore, we're going to come after you. That's what I really think happened. That's what I think happened. I think something similar happened with Epstein. I think that Diddy was working with the feds. I think he was working with some very powerful people, high-ranking people, influential people, just like we know that Epstein was. Look at the people that went to his house. Look at the people that are on record of him who he's dealing with. Diddy, very similar. Just because he was in entertainment, think about what they rely on entertainment to do. Entertainment is one of the biggest forms of manipulation, forming how we think, forming our perspectives in a lot of ways. So I don't really have much details. I didn't read the case against him or what was filed against him. Maybe I will read it before the next show. But like I told y'all, I'm really not interested in covering a lot of these type of topics because it's just, I don't know. I'm just not really interested in talking about Diddy in a human trafficking case. Like, there's just more important stuff. But I do think it is important to touch on, at least to maybe show us a different lesson, which I'm getting ready to do as I transition. Now, I'm getting ready to talk about Shannon Sharpe. I want to pause, and because I don't want people thinking that I'm saying anything or relating Diddy's situation to Shannon Sharpe. If there is any relationship, I think that both were driven for the love of money. Now, a lot of people may not know what happened with Shannon Sharpe. I'm not going to play any videos. I'm just going to review it for y'all, give y'all some context. Shannon Sharpe went on Instagram Live and apparently didn't know that he was on live and was having sex with somebody, grunting, making all these noises, growling and barking damn near. I don't know. The next day or later that day, he came on a show with Chad Ochocinco, their nightcap show. He started off apologizing. Matter of fact, should I show y'all some of the apology videos? Hold on. If I can see it, if I find a short video, then I'll show y'all. Hold on. Shannon Sharpe apology. Let me see if I can find one. I don't want to play a lot of, but play a little bit of it. It is what it is. We'll play a little bit of it. I'm over here trying to get out of here. I'm trying to get some rest. Hold on.
I'm like, why are y'all? But to have Shannon, Shay Shay Media Club, Shay Shay Nightcap, ESPN, there are a lot of people that count on.
Hold on.
Extremely private, and to have one of your most intimate details, the audio heard for the entire world to hear. I'm embarrassed for a number of reasons. People count on Shannon. Shay Shay Media Club, Shay Shay Nightcap, ESPN. There are a lot of people that count on Shannon to be professional at all times. And I always try to be professional at all times. Even when I'm behind closed doors, I still try to remain a level of professional, although I'm in the privacy of my own home. And I'm very disappointed in myself, not for the act. I think there are millions and billions of people of consenting age that engage in activities. But to have your most intimate detail on the audio to be heard, I'm disappointed in myself. I let a lot of people down. My kids, I reached out to them. I called them. I called my sister. My friends, obviously, my friends reached out. But guys, this was not staged. Came in, I threw my phone on the bed, gazed in an activity. I did not know IG Live. I've never been on IG Live. I've never turned IG Live on. So I don't know how it works. And so all of a sudden, my other phone is going off and people are calling me FaceTime that I've never talked to a day in my life on FaceTime. And it didn't, I'm like, why are y'all calling me FaceTime? And
y'all think he staged it? Let me know in the group chat if you think he staged it. I'm going to be totally honest. He's coming across as looking pretty genuine right now. He just may be a good actor. I don't know.
After a while, Jamie Fritz, who's been my longtime marketing guy, he finally got through to me and he says, Shannon, you on IG Live. I'm like, doing what? You know, I'm like, what am I on IG Live for? I ain't hit no IG Live button. He says, they can hear. I'm like, so now, Ocho, you know, I say ask for patience. He said they can hear. And now I'm starting to get agitated again because you called me and say I'm on IG Live when I know I didn't click myself on IG Live. And he said they can hear me. I said, hear me doing what? He said, it sounds like you were having sex. Man, my heart sank. It dropped.
He said his heart sank and it dropped. All this seems pretty genuine.
And obviously, I run my accounts, but Jordan being the good Samaritan, the good soldier that he is, Jordan the one that cut it off. Because hell, I didn't even know it was on. Jordan cut it off. Jordan put the message up. And then after I called my agent, the agency, I called ESPN after I just got this good, tell them the truth. I said, I just got to tell them the truth. My phone wasn't hacked. It wasn't a prank. It was me being a healthy, active male. I mean, y'all thought I was bull jiving. Hey, I'll get it in. Real talk. Hey, Ocho, see, I don't, man, Unc be lying. Unc lying. Unc ain't lying.
Come on.
Oh,
man.
He sparks hard, Ocho. And, you know, I hit one early this morning.
Come on.
If you're apologizing for something, if you're really embarrassed, putting your kids in this position, all the things, I'm just repeating what he said. I'm not holding him to any standard that he didn't just set for himself. He just said that he was embarrassed. But not embarrassed enough to decide not to take advantage of an opportunity to make some money by promoting his clothing line. Like he did it with the clothing, as well as this performance enhancer, erectile, I don't know what it is, testosterone, whatever it is. I haven't looked it up. We are becoming slaves to money. And it's such a sickness. You know, I heard Lana say earlier, we got a mental health, I forget what word you used, crisis. We have a sickness when it comes to money. We really do. And I used to be the type to say money is everything. Money, I used to be like that. But I'm realizing how much of a sickness it can be if we are not prioritizing the purpose. Because some people say money is everything, but it's based on the things that I can do with the money. It's based on me, the role that I'd be able to play with this money. Certain people who get intoxicated with money, who become sick with just controlled by money, nothing's ever enough. So instead of him standing on his apology and just leaving at that and moving on, he starts joking, talking about get it in, and starts showing and advertising. And now he's doing, I just saw one earlier today, Instagram ad or collaboration where he's sponsoring whatever company this is and making a good amount of money, I'm sure, off of it. But if you really feel bad, if you really feel embarrassed, would you be highlighting it with how you're talking right now and promoting a product? And that, to me, is where we've fallen so short. And these are the people that we idolize. These are the people that we look up to, hold in the highest regards. So if they're moving in a particular way, how do we think that that's impacting us? Come on, you don't need the bread, bro. You don't need the bread if it comes at the expense of how you're getting it. Like, this is just, and this is what makes me think, like, yo, I don't know whether he set it up or the woman staged it. Y'all know Shannon gets a whole lot of like gay accusations. So I don't know if this is him trying to overcompensate for people saying that he's gay. I don't know. It doesn't matter. If you are, you are. If you're not and people say it, so what? But clearly there's some insecurities at play. I don't know if the insecurity is a sexual insecurity with him trying to overcompensate, as I just said, or it's an insecurity when it comes to money. Because for you to be making whatever you're making, you're doing well, brother. You're probably doing better. I would say that you're definitely doing better than when you were playing. And it doesn't even matter when you have to compromise your principles and morals. Like, come on now, you know that if you're making an apology about something, you shouldn't in the same video be promoting a product that was a part of the activity that you're apologizing for. But it's just the world that we're living in. It's the world that we're living in.
You know, I hit one early this morning.
Come on now.
In all sincerity, I'm
now
extremely embarrassed that a very, very private, intimate situation, the audio can be heard. And I'm extremely disappointed in myself. 5 minutes before I came on, phone rings. It's Cat Williams. So I said, yeah, bro, what's up? The first thing out of his mouth, guess what he said, Ocho?
Oh, wow.
You ain't gay today?
Hey, listen.
I said, man.
Listen.
Come on, Cat. He's
and this is the funny thing about it. Now you remember all the people talking trash and saying whatever they had to say, trying to assassinate your character, that you might be this, you might be this, or whatever it may be. So hell, I mean, I'm sitting back, I'm thinking, well, hey, it was a goddamn Michelle, it wasn't a Michael. Huh? You feel me? It wasn't a Michelle.
Let's move on. It's getting corny. I want to play one more part for you.
It's tough, obviously. Being appeared on my radar.
I want to play one more
part. Yeah, that's the word. That's the key word right there. Because you got on me good.
Together, y'all involving people that ain't got issues.
Let me hold on. I got to show y'all one part of this.
Call me. One of them.
Yeah. Most definitely. I mean,
they gonna do that.
Yeah. The one thing about Twitter,
this place.
I want to play one part where he's bragging about
when you lift weight.
Hey, this ain't no YouTube short, but it's a full feature.
Listen to this.
I mean, you was about what, a minute, 5 seconds?
Oh no. No. Hey, this ain't no YouTube short, but it's a full feature.
Okay,
come on, Ocho. Come on now. Don't do that.
I'm just making sure, because now it's out there to the world now. Now it's out to the world. And most of the time when something like that happens and you don't know what's going on, you know. So now you're gonna have people coming at you sideways.
Do y'all think that it was genuine? Do you think that he staged this whole thing? Do you think it was all to just have me doing exactly what I'm doing right now? And this is why I didn't even want to play this. I was supposed to talk about this video, I think 3 shows ago. But I didn't even really want to go to it. And it probably would have got more views when I clipped the episodes out if I would have put it out last week. But I just didn't care, because it's just so corny. I like Shannon, and I really don't want to like call him out, but it is what it is. You got to call out certain things because that's when you start to get so big where nobody's willing to call you out, and you start to just kind of feel like whatever direction that you're going is the right direction without having anybody be able to check you. And we all need that at times. But listen to how he's getting ready to conduct himself.
You know, they want to see if the feature is really what it's advertised to be. So you in a kind of good position. It's somewhat of a bad thing. I think it's nothing to be embarrassed about. It's nothing to be embarrassed about. But what it does do.
Yeah, I'm embarrassed about it, Ocho. Damn, that's my most intimate moment.
Yeah, and now you got to understand the attraction and the curiosity from the female species that's going to occur now. And one is
so corny.
Yeah,
if you have an allergy, like if you're allergic to peanuts, you're allergic to shellfish, bee stings, ants, or something like that, Ocho. You keep an EpiPen on you.
Right.
I keep these on me.
So, do you have ED? Like, what are you trying to say? You have erectile dysfunction? I don't even like the jokes aren't even like who.
So I'm just telling you, if y'all ever see me sideways like this here, I done snuck you.
But you know what also I'm happy about? Honestly,
what you happy? What you mean what you happy? Hold on. What you mean what you happy about?
Let me tell you why. Let me tell you why I'm happy, because I know you really well. I know your character. And it is you that's self-protect. I didn't know how that you still.
I want to get to the point.
You cried?
For the people there, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed for my circle. I'm embarrassed for the people there. There are people embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
You cried?
I ain't got no more tears.
You cried?
Yeah, because I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed.
Yeah, so homie said he cried. This is all the same day, I believe. I really believe this is on the same day. This happened. You know, he works early, came home, this happened, and then went on nightcap. Like, I'm pretty sure this is in the same day. He's saying that he cried. Yeah, what is going on with the world that we live in?
Embarrassed for my circle. I'm embarrassed for the people there. There are people, not everybody, but there are people out there that hold me in high regard and look to me as a beacon, as a role model.
Right.
And I let those people down.
Yeah.
But I'm human.
Yes, sir.
Although I try to strive for perfection, there's no such thing.
Oh, okay.
I'm a testament to that there's no such thing as perfection.
Thank you for being a testament.
I stay to myself, Ocho, and I try to stay to myself. And I try not to put myself in situations where people, because I know how I am. That's why I don't be around people a lot. That's what I put myself and it wasn't a mistake. It was the car. My phone will be in the car.
Yeah.
So I sure hope nothing pop off. I gotta call 911 because nobody have landlines and dial 911 or something that happened. And of all days,
wait, what's the day?
Oh, listen to this
thing, man. And I would 20 minutes because when I finally got in touch with Jordan said, "Boss, I cut it off." Nah, boss, I done cut it off.
I'm trying to get to a part. I'm just gonna tell you what happened. But I was trying to get to a part where he's talking about his drawers is going in the league, the Hall of Fame. He really talked about. Hold on, I gotta show you this.
He's like,
man, I understand because
Ocho.
Yes, sir.
Real talk. They call these draws for the Hall of Fame. These draws go into the Hall of Fame. You know how when you have an outstanding performance, they want the jersey, the cleats, the glove. Oh, these draws go into the Hall of Fame. I ain't lying to you, Ocho, for real talk.
I'm glad you're feeling better. I'm glad you're feeling better. But
I'm gonna go back upstairs. I'm gonna go back upstairs once I'm done, and because it's just Ocho, man. Come on, Ocho. You know me. You know how private I am.
Yeah, but
I don't think people get the level of privacy.
I think everybody know you. Everybody that is close to you understands. Everyone that's been in your life or been around you, whether it be teammates, friends, associates, everybody knows how private you are. That's why when it first hit me, and I'm reading after when I got off set in Philly, I'm looking at my phone. I say, not my uncle that was just chastising me, a few days ago.
You can't get over that, Ocho.
I'm just saying about being a professional and all the. But again, mistakes happen, so that's why I'm giving you that grace. Like I was given grace at being afforded a second chance.
Look at this.
What I love to do.
And my apologies. I think that my group chat, the chat is not updating for me. I just logged in on the other screen, so I've been missing. I was missing all of your comments. My fault. I see uncompetitive in there. I see Shy. I see iRock. My fault. It's not showing on my screen. I should have reset it as soon as it happened, but my apologies for that. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Hold on. Let me just see if this helps. 1 second. Shouldn't be a big deal. All right. Hopefully y'all can see me. But yeah, I just want to play this last part of the video and then we can move on because yeah, I don't know. Let's just play the last part of the video, but I'm sorry, I can't see a lot of the messages. So if I didn't respond to your message, that's why.
Inside the NFL gave me that opportunity. EA, Madden gave me the opportunity. ESPN is give me the opportunity. All the people that's endorsed and sponsor me have given me that second chance in life. So who am I to sit here because you made a mistake and not give you that same grace I was given? Now, we can't do it more than once. Now, if you're a repeat offender, now we got a problem.
Hold on.
Oh, I'm gonna repeat that act, but the phone gonna be in the car. I ain't
Hold
gonna
on
be
1
tell
second.
nobody.
It's playing
I
two
ain't gonna
different.
tell
Hold on.
nobody, you know how people say.
Sorry, hold on. Sorry.
Right.
I promise you, I did not say that.
Yes, sir.
So I hope people don't think, hey, let that be a lesson to you. Hey, that ain't no lesson. That lesson leave my phone in the car. That's the only lesson I'm taking from this.
Ain't nothing to be ashamed about, man. You good on my end.
Listen to this last
What else
part.
to do? I mean, there's this morning,
right?
Knowing science control that come along sharp. I ain't gonna happen to her with you casually. People that say, "What'd your brother say?" My brother say, "Hey, bro, you say I'm proud of you." Tell people what actually
did myself.
All right, whatever. I don't even want to talk about this no more. But the man finished up with saying like, "Yo, she may have had to put some ice down there." And I'm just like, "Yo, it's just corny. It's just corny how people move." And there's nothing cornier than when you see somebody that you looked up to or still look up to, and you just see them like just selling out, like selling their soul just for $1, like selling your soul just for money, compromising your principles, compromising your morals. It's just, to me, nothing. It's just not a place that I want to be in. It's not a place that I want to be in. I don't know, to each their own, but I don't know. I'm not with it. I'm not going to be with it ever. And I want to finish off with something talking about reputation. I was thinking a lot earlier about reputation. I don't know whether it was Diddy, whether it was Shannon Sharp, whether it's anything in politics, but well, actually, I do know what it's for. We're reading in the book club, so some of y'all may know 48 Laws of Power. So we're reading the 48 Laws of Power, and the 5th law, that's what we were on yesterday. So we reviewed it, did the show with Mir, and we did it yesterday. And we actually got somebody new joining the show this week, well, in person. So we'll leave that a surprise. But the chapter is so much depends on reputation guarded with your life. A lot of us talk about reputation. Is a reputation how we feel about ourselves? Is it how others perceive us? What goes into a reputation? And not a lot is focused on how to improve a reputation. The book will talk about guard it with your life. Okay, well, what happens when your reputation is not what you want it to be? What happens when people perceive you in a different way than you are? What happens when you are not the person that you perceive yourself to be? How do you move on from that? By telling the truth. And I think I've told y'all the story before about when I was younger and my brother and I used to get in trouble. And when my dad, he was the one that was, he was the disciplinarian. And we would go to him, or I realized at a young age that when I went to him and I told him the truth, like he told me to tell him the truth, I thought about what I did wrong, let him know that I thought about it and processed it. I told him exactly why I did it, not to give as an excuse, but just to let him know exactly why I did it. I told him why I knew that I was wrong, and I let him know exactly how I would move forward and improve it. Just me being that stand-up person Like, he was trying to teach me stand-up principles at a young age. And it's like, if you mess up, just tell the truth. Just be honest about it. And I think that's the only way to improve reputation. And it first comes with us being honest with ourselves. That's the first person that we have to be honest with, in my opinion. Because if we're not honest with ourselves, then regardless of how other people perceive us, we're not going to care. We're not going to notice it, may never be aware of it. But the more we can look at ourselves and critique ourselves and be honest with ourselves, then we're going to have a realistic understanding of where we are. So therefore, we can plan moving forward to get to where we want to get to. But if we're not honest with ourselves, we're never going to hold ourselves accountable to getting to where we want to get to, because we're never going to have that starting point of understanding where we are. So whether it's a Diddy may be too far gone. If it's a Shannon Sharp, speak your truth, move forward. If it's a politician, can we imagine what it would be like to have a politician that just comes out and says, you know what, I was wrong? We talk about on this show, Kamala flip-flopping. We talk about Trump a bit. If Kamala Harris came out and just said, you know what, I was wrong. I thought about that. This was me. Let me tell you why I thought what I thought in 2019. Let me bring you into my life and tell you exactly why my perspective was what it was. I've gained 5 years of experience, 5 years of knowledge, spoken to people outside of California, all across this country, and have world experience to understand what works for other countries and other nations. And that's why I now think this. And I'm working with these people to figure out a plan to accomplish this. And this is why I think it can be done this way, because I noticed that this is, fracking's been going on in PA. That's been good. The alternative has been, just being honest would be so refreshing, in my opinion, that it would make any candidate stand out. Now, overall, just in society, if you are an honest person that acknowledges the mistakes that you make, that stands on them and just says very clearly, like, yo, I messed up here. That was wrong. Here's how I'm going to improve it. This is what I was thinking, and that's why I think I made that error. So moving forward, I'm going to make sure to think in a different way, to move in a different way, to figure out a different strategy. But it all starts with us being honest with ourselves. And we're living in a society right now where the value of honesty, it's a currency that I'm not going to say that it's going to lose its value, but for whatever reason, it's not being valued by the majority of us. So I'm not saying that the dollar lost its value. I'm just saying that the people now are saying that the dollar isn't going to pay for what it used to pay for. That's what I'm saying. The value isn't the same. And when we have a society where honesty is not valued, where integrity is not valued, where morals are not valued, then we look around and see the chaos that we are living in, not only in our country, but around the world. So whether it's improving our reputation, whether it's just raising our standards, being truthful to ourselves first and foremost, is going to be step one. So that's what I'll leave y'all with. I got to tap into the other window. I'm sorry about that. I'm sure it'll be working, soon. I'm sure the chat will be up next time. It happens. We deal with it as it comes. It is what it is. But I do have to thank y'all. I have to thank all of y'all that are watching right now. Please make sure that you like for the algorithm. Y'all know what it is. It just helps boost the page, helps boost the video. But we are almost there. We are almost an official partner of YouTube. I believe I checked earlier today, and we were only 104 watch hours away from becoming a YouTube partner. So definitely got to appreciate y'all. Salute y'all. Man, we're going to just keep going. Foot on the gas. We're just going to keep pushing, keep plugging away. And we're just going to keep listening to all the suggestions and incorporating as much of y'all as possible in whatever way y'all would like to be a part of this community, a part of the show, have your own show, whatever that may be. Or just jump on and continue to just do what you've been doing. It's appreciated. I originally, like last show, wanted to finish off with a meditation. It's already 11:30. let's just make sure that we're doing our 45 seconds to where we're getting some visualization, and hopefully we'll all be going to bed after this. Well, you never know. People may be listening across the world. Who knows? But we, yeah, let's just take the time. It's Wednesday, more than halfway through the week. Let's just, kind of remove all the distractions, remove all the negative energy, do some breath work. Every breath in, just breathing in some intentional positive energy, and every breath out, just breathing out, whatever's been stressing us, holding us back, all the anxiety, anything negative. All right. It's important. It's important that we clear our minds, especially before going to bed. So with that, let's take 45 seconds. Close your eyes if you're in a safe place, and just breathe. Just do what you need to do for you. All right. One more deep breath in. Breathe, get that diaphragm. Fill that diaphragm up. That was weak. And then breathe out all the BS. All right. Y'all know what it is, man. Appreciate y'all. Can't keep saying it enough. It's genuine. I promise you. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Onward and upward. Strength and honor. Y'all know we're here for to elevate on purpose, both from an intentional standpoint, as well as simply becoming who we need to become in order to lead and lead by example. All right. All we have to do is be the change that we want to see in the world, like Queez always says, and the rest will take care of itself. All right. So let's challenge ourselves to raise our standards so that we can become those people, that change that we want to see in the rest of the world. And with that, like you said, Wednesday, we more than halfway there. Get to that bag. Get to that bag. What bag are you aligning with? What you putting in your bag to make sure that your energy, that's the energy that you got in your bag that you're aligning with, as you move throughout the day, move throughout the, the work week, whatever you're doing. What's in mind? Peace, love, happiness, health, wealth, and with everything that we do, integrity. And with that, I'll see y'all soon, man. Appreciate y'all. Love y'all. Y'all know what it is. I'll see y'all soon. Ew.